Thank you. Hi. Quick introduction. Polona is a long-term project of the National Library of Poland. Currently, it serves as digital library for several Polish heritage institutions. The total number of digital objects equals 2.8 million items, including books, newspapers, scores, photographs, maps, postcards, iconography, etc. Since January this year, we provide IIIF core APIs for all public domain materials. Recipe for access is on the slide here, as well as many other things listed here. You can take a look by yourself at polona.pl. The ongoing project called Patrimonium by National Library and Jagiellonian Library in Krakow aims in digitizing 1 million public domain documents in 3 years, covering most of the publishing production in the history of Poland. Here we have a bunch of numbers to imagine the scale of our operations right now. The aim of National Library digitization strategy is, among other, to provide access to Polish literary heritage through rich metadata and full-text search. The problem we encountered is a number of 6,000 early printed Polish books that are out of the reach of commercial OCR engines. That's why we decided to set up this AI pilot.
Well, we didn't need to invent everything from scratch because the OCR of the early printed book is the problem that began to be tackled about 10 years ago, and some very valuable initiatives were undertaken to address this issue. Many helpful tools were developed, and various institutions are working together in this field, many of them in Germany. Where it all began. I mean, the printing began. Johannes Gutenberg and his movable type, the very beginnings. So what we are dealing with, in many cases, uneven printing, an old typeface like Schwabacher, typically used to write Polish text in 16th and 17th century, handmade paper, often time-worn and warped. And there are lots of different spellings and diacritics as the orthography was still evolving. So it's not an easy task, and it requires an advanced methodological approach. And luckily, technology is developing extremely fast, and even the most advanced methods become more and more accessible. Like deep learning, particularly prominent in recent years. As complex and diverse as it seems to be, with modern open source tools and libraries, it can get as easy and enjoyable as building with toy blocks. Thanks to deep learning, once unimaginable tasks like face detection or speech recognition are literally at our fingertips, impacting everyday life. Considering this application, this seems to be the obvious choice for our purposes. But what is OCR actually all about? The whole process can be divided into separate stages. And the first step is, of course, to collect the data, presumably via the IIIF Image API. And then we have to enhance the original images. It involves deskewing and possibly dewarping, estimating white level, thresholds for binarization. And the next step is layout analysis. And here you can see the building blocks I was talking about. We feed a pre-processed bitmap of the page to the input of the structure, and on the output we get the separated segments like main text, title, drop cap, running head, catchword, and so on. Some of the segments, like this fancy initial, need to be classified, and with a simple convolutional neural network it is pretty straightforward. Actual text recognition is the key element of the OCR process, and thanks to integration of two types of artificial neural networks, we can obtain very satisfying results. And moreover, for every recognized character, we also get confidence level of the recognition. And then we can put together the segments, coordinates, and the digitized text contents, so we can assemble a single XML file. And in the end, we can share all the data as annotations in the IIIF presentation API. But there's a catch. For all this to work, we need to train our models using vast amount of properly labeled data. And a lot of data is already available as diplomatic editions. But if we want accurate results, we need to get much, much more. And we need this data not only to train our models, but also to determine which ones are most accurate and how can we adjust the network parameters. And manual labeling of the data requires a great deal of human labor, so we have to minimize the effort as much as possible. And for example, based on the character confidence level, we can highlight locations which most likely need reassessment. And thanks to the nature of machine learning, we can put all those data into a virtuous circle. The more ground truth data we have, the more accurate models we obtain. And with better models, we can produce more ground truth data faster and easier. And another possibility to obtain data is crowdsourcing, which we are exploring when we are preparing the web application. The next step is also cooperation with other research projects working on early modern Polish language, so we can implement lexical support, and it's a mutual benefit because we can provide text for the corpora. But I have still some time, so I can tell you that in the long run, our plan is to build a local environment where other various AI applications can be researched, developed, and deployed, and integrated and shared via IIIF. And possible applications are image extractions, because our pages are already segmented, so we can extract the images and then process them further. We can classify the images, we can detect objects and localize them. There are also some NLP applications like text classification, summarization, named entity recognition, automatic generation of metadata, and document clustering, musical score recognition, and so on. So, thank you. That's all.